Good evening and welcome to TNT Off the Rail. First episode tonight, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to try out a couple small features, talk about a few things that are going on right now with leagues that are postponed and on pause at the moment. So we'll go over a few things. We're going to highlight a couple interviews we've done recently, a little segment on the show that we're going to continue hopefully as we figure out our regular basis for it. We're going to feature two of the interviews I've done. I've got a few other ones in the pile there that we're going to work on. Kind of going over stuff in my head here real quick, what I was going to do. Tonight's episode is brought to you by CBM Construction. Get a hold of Bill at CBM today for all your new construction, remodeling, HVAC needs. Fair and honest prices with a 20% first-time discount. Serving Whiteside, Lee, Bureau, Putnam, and LaSalle counties. Give him a call, 815-716-6727. You can see his email and other information need there. And you can check him on Facebook. Make sure you give him a like. Check that out. So we'll get right to it. We've got obviously, we're dealing with some stuff where we're all kind of trapped in our house right now, not able to do much and hang out and do the things we want to do. A lot of people had a lot of their pool stuff interrupted. A lot of things postponed right now. Pool leagues in limbo. It's a little weird out there. I mean, something completely new to most of us for the most part. We're all kind of sitting around trying to figure out what to do. I'm seeing all kinds of neat makeshift pool tables people are making and things like that, trying to stay on top of things and whatnot. So don't forget, you can be part of the show too. Give us a shout out in the chat box, or you can text me real quick, and I'll try to keep up with that as much as I can. Get right to the postponements right now. Here we go. Starting off, right off the bat, all Illinois Valley ACS leagues are postponed until further notice. You can keep up with anything going on with that on their Facebook page or group, and you can find all that information on their website there, and we'll share some other links on the TNT page as well. And TNT's double leagues for both cities, Dixon and Rock Falls. The start date has been delayed until at least April 19th. The sign-up deadline has been extended actually until today. We'll probably move that out a little more. I'll make a decision on that later and let you guys know. I'll post it on the TNT page and on the Facebook group as well, so you can keep up with the information on that. And the Sterling Rock Falls men's league that shoots on Thursday is also right now currently postponed. They are waiting a decision. I don't think Bob's made a decision yet. He's gonna post something up on his website, so you can keep up with that on Facebook and our website. SRF. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. I'll get the links posted to that as well. And I'm trying to think of what else I had for you. Make sure I had his srfpool.com. Sorry. I didn't want to mess it up and say the wrong thing for the Sterling Rock Falls Men's League. You can keep up with all that information there, and they'll be making a decision on that soon. So we've posted over on the TNT Facebook page. We've been posting it in then different groups. A couple questionnaires. We're looking to highlight tournament directors and league operators to kind of show people what goes on behind the scenes when you show up to pay your weekly dues and put the quarters on the tables and play your league games and stuff like that. Talk to them to see what kind of goes on behind the scenes, what work that goes into it, things like that. And we also posted a list of questions for the players too, so we can get to know some of our local players, because this sport ultimately is built on that, on local leagues and local tournaments and local players and things like that. So I thought it would be a really cool idea, especially now that we're kind of all on lockdown, I guess, to get to know each other and things like that. So every episode, and I don't want to say how often I'm going to do it. My plan was every week, and hopefully maybe we can do that. But every episode, I'm going to try to highlight at least one player and one league operator or director, depending on how many hats they wear. And tonight we're going to focus on, we have a really good player interview that I really enjoyed doing. I'm going to share that with you real quick. But I think we're going to start with a tournament director in our area. I've been waiting to kind of do this one for a while. I've talked about trying to get together with this person and do a little interview with her, and she's been really busy with everything that's going on. I finally got a chance to sit down and talk to her tonight, and so I'm going to share that with you guys. Hopefully you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you want to, remember this part's already recorded, so you can't really ask her any questions, but you can definitely get in the chat box and let me know you're hanging out or whatever, or like I said, text me ideas on people that you might want to have us talk to, or maybe you want to be one of the people we talk to. You can get a hold of me and we can set up an interview. So we're going to jump over into this right now and check it out. This is a little sit down and talk with Kaylee Halberg of the Illinois Valley ACS West. And check this out real quick. We'll be back. All right, TNT off the rail. We're sitting here with Kaylee Halberg. How you doing, Kaylee?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. So tell everybody where you're from, Kaylee.
I'm from Sheffield, Illinois, and I grew up here and been playing pool since I was old enough to see over the table, pretty much. I grew up in a bar, so.
Well, then we know you have an idea of what you're doing. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
And you are a league operator and tournament director, actually, and you have run a couple of things. I worked with you once in Princeton. You helped Kyle with his tournament there.
Yeah.
How long have you been running leagues and tournaments?
It's been about 4 years now, I think, since I've taken over the league. Yeah. And by default, become a tournament director too. So.
These, the big money jobs just kind of fall in our laps.
Yeah.
That's how they work. So.
Yep.
So, what areas do you guys cover?
Our league now goes all the way from Kewanee to Oglesby, pretty much along the I-80 corridor, but everywhere from Oglesby, LaSalle, Peru, Princeton, Wyanett, Sheffield, Buda, all that. So.
And what the venues that you go to? Is there any of them that stand out you'd like to maybe kind of give a little shout out to real quick,
Well, all of our bar sponsors are awesome. We count on them, for the league. So I would hate to single any out, but we have, Borderline over in LaSalle, and we just added a few new ones over there on the east side. We do split it up into separate divisions so that we don't have to all drive after pool league. So we go all the way from there to Stewie's is now closed, Outhouse, Black Rose, Sox in Wyanett, Phillies, and then all the way over to Kewanee. We got several bars over there. That's a newer league, or a newer division, I should say.
So you're growing all over the place, aren't you?
Yep. We're doing good.
I'll throw some links up there as well and everything. But if people needed to find you, how can they find you?
Well, we have a website now. It's been going for about a year, so it helps me out a lot too. It is Illinois Valley ACS West.com.
Awesome. And you guys are also on Facebook too.
Yeah, we have a Facebook group too. And I try to get a lot of information out there quickly. So, and then I'll put it on the website as soon as I can. So.
Yeah, I I definitely see you keeping up with that real well, and that's awesome. So, um, something I like to ask tournament directors before we get too far into a bunch of stuff is a lot of pool players show up, play leagues. They show up, they pay their dues, they drop the quarters on the table, they play and do their thing, but they don't. I don't think they realize how much more there is to shooting in leagues. If you had to kind of describe to somebody your process, how would you do? How would you explain to them what actually goes on when they're not shooting pool?
There's a lot that goes on. um, just to get ready for a session, we have to create the schedules, and that's sometimes difficult, especially if you have bars that have more than one table or more than one team. You have to coordinate that. And again, we have a couple different divisions, and now we are up to a couple different types of league. So we have the 4-on-4 round robin on Mondays, and then on Thursdays we do a 3-on-3 match play, and then a couple times a year we do singles league, and starting a couple different kinds of divisions. So all of those, we have to get the schedules ready and the paperwork, and have meetings and update rules, build the score sheets, keep up with those, weekly. And then a lot of my time is fielding phone calls and, the PR work of it. So that's what takes up a lot of time.
Yeah, one of my favorite league operators used to say one of the things I hear a lot from the babysitting aspect.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Pool players are definitely a group of people of their own.
Yes,
So.
yes, they are. We love them to death, don't we?
Yes.
Absolutely
Yeah.
love them to death. So I'm trying to do the count in my head, and you might actually be able to. So you actually run at one time close to what, 4 or 5, maybe 6 leagues at once?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I know, like you were just saying, you just started a couple new ones. Are you still working? You just started the Scotch doubles.
Well, I put a Scotch triples league together. I know the Scotch triples tournaments were really popular, and I had played in a couple of them, and so I didn't want to just do the same old Scotch doubles league like we used to do back in the day. I actually thought about doing what I think you are now, is just you have one partner the whole session. I think that's how you're doing it.
Yeah.
But then I was going to try that and a 9-ball league both last session, and I just didn't have the time right now, so I put those off. So that if I don't want to start it and not be ready and not do it right. So we are going to do those. It's just with everything going on right now, I'm not sure when, but it's coming. So
Yeah, absolutely. Our current situation, that and we'll touch on that just a little bit too here in a minute. And you do shoot in a couple of your leagues, don't you? That you run? Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I like to ask my operators this? How does it affect you? Is it does it ever end up being relaxing enough for you to, or is it just I'm here filling a spot?
Unfortunately, I'm usually filling a spot. My captains probably don't want to hear that, but it's tough, especially when I have a 4-year-old, so I try not to play as much anymore during the week. And then it is tough, though, to be out. That's when a lot of people want to ask questions, or things come up, and so I do end up answering a lot of questions or fielding that kind of stuff. And it is a little difficult, and I try to always not play in my tournaments, but sometimes that's impossible, especially if it's like our annual tournament and my team needs me. But it's difficult to play and run things. So
Because like I know you're kind of like me, and you're so focused on things being how you want it to be, and it just you can't focus on anything else. You're almost blacking out while you're playing pool, thinking about, okay, is everything going the way I want it to? So yeah, we get that. So are you one woman show? Or you got somebody help? I know you have at least one person. He's been helping you out a little bit, but for the most part, you're pretty much a one woman show, aren't you?
Yeah, and it is a lot of work. I do have a lot of help from some friends of mine help me pick up envelopes and stuff here and there. And again, the bar owners are great, and people do work with me on that kind of stuff, picking up stuff. And Donnie has been great lately, especially I've been working my day job where I actually get paid. Has been a little crazy lately, so I'm actually a emergency preparedness coordinator for a health department. So,
And we thank you very much for that, by the way, too.
yeah.
What do you mean? You mean that you're trying to tell us that league operators don't make mad amounts of money? You can't just retire and drive around in that nice car?
No, and we put up with all your crap for nothing. So, not you, but yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. It's all for the love of the hobby, and it's difficult sometimes when people don't respect that, or a simple thank you does go a long way.
Right. It does. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I think people they don't realize that it's you're not swimming in the money. You're just kind of passing it back around. So it's yeah. We know how that goes. So you mentioned you're obviously been real busy with your day job, and part of your day job is kind of is directly linked to a lot of things that are really keeping us from doing our thing as operators right now. With everything going on with this pandemic, obviously it's postponed a lot of your leagues that were already in progress, and some that were supposed to be getting ready to start. How much is that? I mean, are you kind of split between those? I was trying to keep up. I know there's a couple that were in session right now that still had some time to go, and they're currently postponed. And didn't you have a couple that were supposed to be getting ready to start, right?
Yeah, so the 9 ball and the Scotch triples that we were just talking about was getting ready to start. I had kind of already made the decision, though. A lot of people just are now beginning to deal with this pandemic, but I've been dealing with it since December. So I wanted to make sure I had everything right, and I wasn't ready personally. So we pushed those two off, thankfully. We were in the middle, though, of our Monday had 2 divisions going on, East and West, both had 8 teams, and then our 3-on-3 had 13 teams over in the Kewanee Sheffield area. So we were right in the middle of both of those sessions. We are ACS sanctioned, and our biggest tournament of the year, our Illinois State tournament, was supposed to be last week. So I had a vacation planned for myself, and it's always my birthday week that week, and I worked 80 hours. So
this whole pandemic thing it wasn't very nice. It didn't come and ask us if we were ready for it, and it's just messing everything up. Don't you know we want to shoot pool right now? Come on.
Yeah, it could have been a couple of weeks later, because we always look forward to that Illinois State tournament. And the other thing is, our 5th annual league championship was supposed to be May 1st through 3rd. I have not made any announcements about that. I was just getting ready to announce, when all this kind of started, I was just getting ready to announce that tournament. And it's every day it's looking a little bit more like it's probably not going to happen, unfortunately. So
yeah, this
very stuff.
I'm
on both ends of it, and believe me, I would love to have them if we could. But.
Right. Well, we got to make sure we have players down the road too. So if we go try to push things too soon, then we're going to be in trouble. And of course, so keeping up with all the postponements and stuff, you haven't canceled anything. You haven't put an end to any of the sessions that were in progress yet. They're just postponed for now.
Yeah, and actually, I want to apologize to my players, because with everything going on at my actual job, I have not been very vocal about anything that's going on with league. I've kind of just been like having Donnie handle it, because it's literally been crazy. I'm working 20 hours a day sometimes, and working from home and at work, and so it's been very tough to even think of. Today is about the first time I've even thought about league in a couple weeks. So unfortunately, but I was going to say too, with what you said about having people around, a lot of pool players are older. So it is very important, that it's tough for me. It's going to be hard to make the decision. Right now, I was kind of thinking of finishing this session in the summer. Summer's numbers are always kind of down anyway. So I was thinking about maybe finishing this in the summer and then starting fresh in fall, but we just have no idea what's going on in the world right now. So
Yeah, it's definitely going to make it hard to pick dates because we don't know when
Yeah.
when anything's going to happen, and then how long it's going to obviously our venues are eager for us to get back. We know that, and we definitely want to be able to help them out as much as we can by getting back there and putting the people in there and help them out. So it's rough. I mean, not only like I said, there's a ton of people just going nuts because they can't shoot pool and just absolutely just
And even if it is allowed, then there's still, well, should we, just wait until the fall anyway because of the risk, and it's a really tough call. So, it's gonna be tough. Yeah.
right. And it's one of the ones you're going to have to make the choice on your own because you can't if you leave it to the players, they're going to say, well, let's start last week.
Yeah, and I always am I'm very adamant about hearing everyone out in our league. We're almost up to 200 players, so I've I've finally figured out I can't please everyone, but I still try. um, I finally figured that out after almost 4 years now, though, that I'm not going to make everyone happy. So um,
It's a curse.
it is. It really is, especially when a lot of the players are my friends also. So.
Right. I know. Yeah. It would be so much easier if we could just run leagues with people we didn't like.
Right. Right.
Just you know what? I don't like any of you. Just go home. I'm done with it.
And unfortunately, like we mentioned earlier, they are a group of their own, and you almost do have to baby them a little bit. So, because I don't want to push anyone away, and it's
Well,
tough.
I think they understand that I've heard nothing but good. I say, and we had the time you and I worked together in Princeton. That was a ton of fun. I mean,
Yeah.
you do some good stuff, and I know a lot of people. I hear a lot about your stuff, your singles leagues and stuff like that. So we know you're doing a pretty good job, and Donnie's been stepping up and taking care of things and letting people know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's been hard for anybody to get information out, trying to get through everything else that's going on.
Oh,
So,
I know. You can't. I try to stay off my phone lately because it's everybody's a pandemic expert now. So.
oh yeah, you don't see. Well, there now you have all the time in the world because everybody on Facebook's got it all figured out. They can just do your job
Right.
for you, so
Right.
you can focus on leagues. So there you go.
Yep.
Everybody's
Yeah.
Facebook trained and they got it all set.
Oh, it's frustrating. Yes, and again, I do see both sides of it. So I would have loved to went to state last week. I had a vacation planned myself, and still, it was probably a bad idea even
Yeah.
before it escalated to what it is now. So
Right, and they really you could tell Dan and them really fought with that decision.
that's a tough call too. Just
know,
like we were saying with getting leagues back going, it's a real tough call.
Yeah, and they had more than just the whole pandemic thing. They were dealing with a last minute venue change and just wow, it just got ugly for them quick.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot more for you. I had one other question, one other thing I guess is if let's say we threw a bunch of your past and present and even future players out in front of you and you wanted to tell them something, little piece of wisdom or something like that, what would you say? Oh, she's like, oh, I thought about this one.
I have. Well, first, be nice to your league operator. Again, a thank you goes a long way, and so does a beer. Buy me a beer sometime. But no, it's just being patient. There are I have people still calling me, when's league going to start up again? And we're not even supposed to leave our house right now. So I have no control over that. Out for pool anyway. But another thing is to get young people interested because again, a lot of our pool players are older, and if we want to maintain leagues for time to come, you're going to have to be nice to the younger kids and get them interested in pool again. So I think that's really important. And as everyone knows, that's been around pool for a long time. It used to be a lot bigger than it is now. I mean, we used to have a whole women's division over here, and now we can barely make one state team of women out of our entire league. So, just be nice. And, again, I try to make you all happy, but keep the griping to a minimum. I do listen. I hear people out, and I hear all sides of it, and I try to make the decision for the majority, but it is tough. So
It's a thankless job sometimes.
it is. It
And
is.
but of course, like everybody will tell you, the money's so awesome, it keeps us there. So,
Right. Right.
well,
Right.
I absolutely appreciate the time, and I know I really appreciate it because I know how precious it is to you right now because you have been so busy, and I'm sure with a bunch of other people thank you because I know you're putting a lot. I don't want to go into it a bunch because I know you've been spending a lot of time there, but we thank you very much for everything you've been doing, helping everybody get through all this and dealing with probably makes pool leagues seem pretty tame compared. So
Yes, yes, and I feel awful that we probably I haven't officially announced it, but we're probably going to have to postpone our league championship that we look forward to once a year. We already missed state, and I haven't made any official announcements on that yet. I've kind of abandoned pool lately. It's almost been a blessing because I've just been so busy. So,
right. Well, we look forward to
how
hearing what you end up deciding to do, and of course, I'm sure you'll make the best decisions, and you'll keep up all the good work, and like I said, you've offered a lot of great opportunities for players and a bunch of different formats, and they're amazing. If you were a little closer to me, I'd come up and shoot in some of that stuff. So, and hopefully we'll get to do some stuff again.
yeah.
If you don't have anything else you want to throw in there, I'm just gonna let people know that we've been sitting here with Kaylee Halberg, Illinois Valley ACS West. She has a bunch of great leagues and things to play in. So check out their website. There'll be links in the description, and probably one scrolling around somewhere by her head over there. And I really do appreciate your time. Tell Donnie we said hey. Hopefully we'll get back in there and be shooting, and maybe we'll get to hang out. Maybe we can stop
Yeah.
from canceling some stuff and get out and hang out. Have a great night. We'll see you soon.
And I just want to thank you too because I know you do a lot for pool also, and thank you and thank all of our players and our bar owners. I know it's tough for them right now, so once leagues do get back up and running, let's go support them. So
Absolutely, yes, because we miss them as much as they miss us.
we
We
do
do.
for sure.
Well, like I said, Kaylee, thanks so much for hanging out with us, TNT Off the Rail. We'll talk to you a little more later. Have a great weekend, whatever you get to enjoy of it, okay?
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yep.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
All right, that was Kaylee Halberg. Sorry about that. I thought I pushed a button, but I didn't. It was Kaylee Halberg, Illinois Valley ACS West. You can check out all of her information right there. You can get a hold of her. Her email is there and her website, and you can also find them on Facebook. She's got a bunch of great leagues. She does a lot of good stuff. She's been a busy lady lately, taking care of a bunch of stuff. Tonight's episode is brought to you by CBM Construction. Bill Lilly. Contact Bill at CBM today for all your new construction and remodeling and HVAC needs. Fair and honest pricing with a 20% first-time discount. He's serving Whiteside, Lee, and Bureau County, Putnam, and LaSalle. Sorry about that. I kind of lost where I was at. Don't forget to give them a call and see what they can do for you. And just a reminder now, again, all the Illinois Valley ACS West leagues are currently postponed until further notice. You can keep up with all the information on what they're going to do with the leagues as far as and when they're going to continue. And obviously, it's all dependent on when the stay-at-home order gets lifted, so that we can all go back and hang out. And then, of course, as soon as we can get back in there and do those things, then obviously leagues will get going again. The Sterling Rock Falls men's Thursday night league is postponed as of right now. He's close to making a decision. You can check their website for more information about that decision on what they're going to do. They were discussing whether or not they're going to continue the postponement or not. We'll have some more information on our next episode as far as the Thursday night summer league that goes on in Sterling Rock Falls as well. All the TNT doubles leagues are all postponed right now. Currently, the start date is set for April 19th. Depending on how things go, if it works out, then if it works out to where we can hopefully get back into the bars sooner, then hopefully we'll be able to get in there and get things going a little sooner. Our next little piece is a player interview that we did, and I kind of like this one. We talked to a player that actually we featured on a TNT Fight Night. Asked him some questions. You can see all those questions. All these questions are posted on the TNT Facebook page. You can check them out. And if you're interested and would like to be part of this, get a hold of me. All the information, like I said, is on the TNT Facebook page. You can find a link in their description. And don't forget, if you enjoy all the free live pool-related streaming, to make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, click on the bell, and turn on notifications to keep up with everything we've got coming. So this next one is, we talked to James Bradshaw and asked him some cool things about him and his pool shooting and things like that. So check this out, and I'll be back in just a second. All right, we're here talking with James Bradshaw. James, where are you from?
I'm from Mount Carroll, Illinois.
All right. So we're doing a TNT off the rail interviews, talking to some local pool players and things like that, kind of getting to know each other, and in our time of lockdown, I guess you could say. So what got you into pool, James?
Actually, it's like a family thing. My dad plays, my uncle plays, I play. I actually started playing when I was 4.
Wow.
Yeah. So my dad had like a little milk crate. So I stood on that and went around his table at home, and I just picked it up and went on from there.
So that kind of almost answers my next one then. So how long has that made? How long have you been shooting then?
Well, I'm 43, so 39 years.
Wow. So what games do you normally shoot? Like 8, 9, 10?
Most of the time it's 8-ball, like leagues and stuff like in tournaments. Most of the time it's 8-ball, but I do play 9-ball pretty well.
So I guess if you were to pick a favorite, you'd say probably 8-ball.
Probably 8-ball.
So, and then you said you play a lot more. Do you play, what do you think you play more, leagues or tournaments?
Well, I play in right now 4 different leagues, and I don't know, I've played in a lot of tournaments, but league time usually takes up most of my time.
So, where do you shoot leagues right now? Well, obviously right now nowhere, but where do you shoot?
Yeah. I did Wednesday nights in Clinton, Iowa, Monday night in Monroe, Wisconsin, and then I was playing Sundays in Dixon, and then Thursday night would be in Savannah, Illinois.
Awesome. Looking forward to getting back to some shooting here soon, hopefully, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't played for 2 weeks. Not even picked up a cue.
Wow, yeah. See, now those people that have the pool table are always talking about, oh yeah, it just sits there and collects stuff. Now that everybody's kind of like, oh, I don't like you very much.
Yeah.
So you're right. And so if you had to describe to someone, or kind of I guess maybe recruit them into one of your leagues, what would you say to them? How would you describe that to them?
The actual pool league?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a learning experience. Like, I started out when it was okay to be in bars when you were younger, as long as you were with your parents. So my dad had me playing on his team when I was 14.
Wow.
So, I mean, I got kind of thrown into it, and I had to learn really quick. But it made me a better player. I don't know. It's an actual experience for you to get better. That's how I would put it. I mean, I would encourage it as much as you can to play in league. You should, because it gives you a chance to get better.
Awesome. So we were talking about leagues and tournaments and stuff like that. A lot of people say there's, the mindsets are different. How do you, what differences do you see in the mindset between league play and tournaments and stuff?
Most of the time, tournaments are singles, so you're playing for yourself. League is a little bit different because you're in a team environment, so you got to think about as a team what you need to do as a team. I would say that's the biggest difference is in league you're playing with other players on a team, so you got to kind of change your mindset a little bit. But when it comes to tournaments and stuff, you're like playing for yourself. So that's probably the biggest difference, I would say.
Awesome. So yeah, I know the answer to this kind of, but what large sanctioned state or national events have you played in?
Oh, I've been to Vegas once. I've played in the Iowa State Tournament probably 12 times. I've played in the Illinois State Tournament twice. And I just got done playing in the Wisconsin State Tournament, and that was my first time there.
And what did you play? 8 or 9 ball in those?
In the Iowa one, most of the time it was 8-ball team and 8-ball singles, and then there was a few times where I played 9-ball. But other than that, it's been mostly 8-ball.
So out of all those, how'd you do?
In 2009 as a team, in the Iowa State Tournament, we got 4th place. There's been a few times where I've gotten in the top 20 out of the state. I would have to go back and look at all of them. I really don't remember. It's been so long.
I was going to say, you've covered some time, so you've probably been to a few, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
So with going to those the big sanction things like that, is going to a bigger sanction tournament like that, maybe not even, kind of take Vegas out of it a little bit, even just like the state tournaments and stuff, is that something you would recommend to players? Whether, you know what I mean? Is it as an experience you think that they need to have?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to open yourself up to a broader range of players. I mean, I've always thought of pool as if you consistently play the same players, you're never going to get any better. I mean, that may be true, it may not be true, but that's the way I see it. If you open your horizons a little bit and play more players from different areas, it's going to make you better in the long run. That's the way I see it.
Good advice. Can you remember, and if you can you remember and describe the first tournament you were in, big, small, or just, like the first tournament you remember? Can you describe it?
I actually played probably like the first big tournament to where was in 2009. That was like, I had played previously in singles but didn't do very well, so I was done. But in 2009, I was pretty much playing every day. So I ended up getting on a team last minute. I was walking out the door to leave to come home, and they pulled me back in to play in the team event. That was probably the one that I remember the most because of how long the days were when we played and how far we got.
How did you guys end up doing?
That was the year we got fourth place.
Fourth place.
Yeah.
Do you remember who was on your team?
It was 3 guys from Clinton, Iowa. Mm-hmm. So I think there was 245 teams in our division. So we played until we started playing team event Friday night. We didn't get done until Sunday night at 8:30.
Wow. So I've gone to a couple of the state. I've never played in any of them. I've been to them just in attendance, so I know it's a pretty big deal stretched out over it. Oh. So if that wasn't it, what is one of your best best, most memorable pool moments? Like, I mean, just even if it was just a regular casual game with somebody, or just, I mean, something that just you kind of one of those things that just stands out that you always kind of come back to, you know.
Oh, you're probably gonna know this one. It was playing Rick, of
Oh,
course.
oh yes, in your fight night.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you bring that up. Let's kind of go into that for a second. That was I remember you guys raced to 18, right?
Yep.
Yep, you raced to 18. What were you thinking going into that match? I mean, how did there was a lot of build up to it. I remember that.
Oh, absolutely. Like Rick and I are great friends. Like he's one of my best friends. But everybody in that whole area didn't think I stood a chance against him. And that was kind of my feel to practice. And I mean, obviously, it showed that I played every day up until that point for probably 2 to 3 hours every day. So, I mean, that was kind of my fuel for playing as good as I did and practicing as much as I want to prove everybody wrong.
And you guys,
Which I think I surprised a lot of people.
did you surprise yourself a little, maybe?
A little bit, yeah. I actually thought I made one mistake, and unfortunately, the mistake was in the last game, and otherwise, I probably would have won that.
It was a good match to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I still watch it over and over.
I was just gonna ask how many times have you gone back and watched that? Well, I appreciate you hanging out and taking some time with me. Is there anything, any Bradshaw wisdom or anything like that you'd want to share with future pool players or anybody looking to get into the game?
My thing is I see a lot of players like constantly play the same people, and I'm a big non-handicap guy. I don't think there should be a handicap. That's like a big discussion with me. I mean, obviously, I could ask Rick for a spot, and he would have given it to me, but I didn't take it because I wanted to beat him straight up, I mean, I would rather lose, I guess, than win off of a handicap. I've never been in a position to where I've had a handicap, so I don't really know what that's like. So that's one of my big things is I just see it as the better players you play, the better it's going to make you in the long run.
Right,
because I don't see you learning anything from playing, mediocre players.
Right, if how's that go? If you're not losing, you're learning. So.
Right, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate the time, early dude, James. This is a ton of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing many more with these, and hopefully talking to you more on down the road about some stuff.
Oh yeah, I have a ton of stories. We'll have a ton of stories.
Well, we'll definitely have to get hooked up again. We've been talking to James Bradshaw again here, TNT Off the Rail. You can find more James and Rick's TNT fight match that we were talking about on the TNT YouTube channel in the playlist TNT Fights. James, thanks a ton, and hopefully we'll see you. We'll get back in the bars here soon, and we'll get some tournaments going. So you have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with me, okay?
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for getting in contact with me.
Yep. Have a great night, James.
You too.
Well, that was James Bradshaw doing a little player interview here on TNT Off the Rail. Don't forget, if it's something you'd like to do, like to maybe let people know how you see things and be part of it, just get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me through the TNT page. There's ways to make contact with me. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Click on that bell, turn on your notification, and check us out on all of our social platforms. You can find them all right there. We're on Twitter. We're on Snapchat, and of course Facebook. And I'm just looking at that and realizing I don't have the Twitter page on there. Don't forget, tonight's episode is brought to you by CBM Construction. Get a hold of Bill Lilly over at CBM today for all your new construction, remodeling, and HVAC needs. fair and honest prices with a 20% first-time discount, proudly serving Whiteside, Lee, Bureau, Putnam, and LaSalle counties. Just to kind of recap things, of course, with everything that's going on, there are a lot of pool leagues that didn't get to start when they wanted to, tournaments that have been canceled. Next episode, I will touch on more of those. I'll do some more research and give you some more, because a lot more has since been postponed. I just recently saw some of the Carom Room things have been postponed or canceled. A lot of places aren't actually canceling; they're going for the postponement. Right now, leagues that I know of, there's quite a few of them that obviously can't play because their venues are closed. Of course, and like I've said, Illinois Valley ACS West leagues are all postponed until further notice. You can check out their website and Facebook page for that. The Sterling Rock Falls Men's League that shoots on Thursday is currently postponed. Now they're soon to make a decision on what they're going to do with the rest of their season. So you can keep an eye on that on their Facebook page and their website. And, of course, the TNT Doubles Leagues in Dixon Rock Falls. The start date has been pushed back to April 19th for right now, depending on how much longer the stay-at-home order stays in place. And you can keep up with that information on the TNT Facebook page and the TNT Leagues group on Facebook. And talking about that, a couple cool Facebook groups that you can check out if you want to keep up with all things pool and connect with pool players. Between the TNT Facebook page and these groups, you can link to a bunch of other great groups on Facebook that will connect you with just pool players all over the place. We have a pool players connection group here, and you see the address there. And of course, the TNT Leagues group, just search TNT Leagues. And that should get you over to that, and you can find most of those right in our TNT Facebook page. I'm going to try to do this on a weekly basis. I have a couple more interviews already waiting to share with you on our next episode next week, and I'm thinking probably Friday or Saturday night. Right now, with the schedule, the things are Friday nights is what I'm shooting for. We'll see how it goes. Keep up on the TNT page, and that'll always let you know when it's coming. Right now, my plan is to do it again next Friday. Our interviews that I have on deck for that, I got a interview from the You Got Action boys. A couple of them sent in a cool little video going over the questions that we posted up the TNT page. And we will be talking with Bob Steinhagen of the Sterling Rock Falls League, and it looks like Bill in the Hill just jumped in here actually, and told me that they just canceled the Sterling Rock Falls League. So you can verify that information by checking out their website, srfpool.com, and you can look it up on Facebook as well. Like I said, if you want to be part of it, you want to check out some of the other things and be part of it. We're looking for players to send in cool shots that they caught on tape, video. Send them in to us. Get a hold of me through the TNT page on the best way to get them to me. And if you'd like to be one of the player interviews, get a hold of me. We can set up a time to do that. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, give the video a like and hit the subscribe button. Click on that bell, turn on your notifications. We will be back with another episode of Off the Rail. I'm pretty sure next Friday. Somewhere between 7 and 9. It kind of depends on how long it takes me to put things together. And don't forget, you can be part of the show by hopping in that chat box or texting us at 833-868-7665. And as soon as I get it figured out, hopefully soon we'll might even start taking some live calls as well. So, and if you are a local small business in the area and would like to have your name put out there, make sure you get a hold of us. great affordable rates for advertising, and we'll also be putting a list together for the next episode for some of our venues that help us out with our leagues and some of the other leagues that we talk about, letting people know that they are open for curbside or delivery or whatever they may be offering in these limited service conditions right now. So if you like I said, if you want to be a part of the show any way at all, get a hold of us through the TNT Facebook page or text us or give us a call. Anything we can do to help those that help us is what we look to do. We appreciate you guys checking us out. We will see you next week. And each week, hopefully, everything will just keep getting better and more content. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.